Hello everyone. Today you are going to learn chapter number 11, transportation in animals and plants from the class 7th. So my dear students, you know the word transportation. In our daily life, transportation, the word is used for different purposes to transport any material from one place to other place. Even many things are get transported from one city to another city, from one village to other village, and from one state to other state, not even one state, from one country to other country also many things are get transported from one place to other place. But in this lesson, the transportation word, here you will get the different meaning here in the lesson, that is transportation in animals and in plants. So in human being, in animals also transportation takes place, how it is takes place and in what ways, so you are going to learn in the lesson. Same for the plants. So first, in the transportation system, first is the circulatory system. So now see here in the picture, you can see the heart diagram as well as the circulatory system in the human being. Now in the human being, we know that every day we eat food to get the energy, and every day we respire to get the oxygen. We drink lot of water every day. So now in the human beings, digested food, water and oxygen, these are transported to all the parts of the body. Now see here, to get the energy, we eat different types of food items, we drink water, we inhale oxygen. So all these things are very important, very necessary to our body parts. So each and every body part should get all these things. So when we eat food, when we drink water, these things goes in our digestive system and oxygen goes in the respiratory system. But from there, food and water and from the respiratory system, oxygen, they get transported to all the parts of the body. This all the parts of the body. Now see here, this is the digestive system. Here is the lung, and from the lungs also the oxygen gets transported to all the parts of the body. Not only oxygen, but all the food whatever we have eaten, whatever the food is digested in the body, that also get transported to all the parts of the body, to all the fingers of hand and the toes of the leg, even up to the brain. So head to toes, all the parts are there, and where all these type of food items, means digested food, water, oxygen is get transported. Now when it get transported, some reaction takes place inside the cell. So there is the production of waste material also inside the cell. So that waste material means the product which our body doesn't want. So that waste products also get transported from all the parts of the body to remove from the body. Now all the parts of the body, all the cells in the body, they are producing the waste material, and that waste material also get transport, and that is thrown out of the body. Now the transport of the substances in the body is done by one system, and that system name is circulatory system. So now see here, circulatory system. The circulatory system is very useful for the transportation of the substance in the body. So this circulatory system transport the substances in the body, but which substances are get transported by the circulatory system? Digested food, water and oxygen. And now see here, when the circulatory system of the body when it transport the substances to all the parts of the body, then we should know that in the circulatory system, again what systems are there? Or circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels and blood. So togetherly, all of these togetherly make a circulatory system. Now in the circulatory system, this heart is present. If you see here in the picture, all the blood vessels are shown, and through the blood vessels, blood flows in the body. So the blood vessels and heart, all these are the parts of the circulatory system, or the circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels and blood. So the first point we will learn blood. So what is meant by blood? So here you can see, and what is the use of the blood? So blood transport substances in the body. Now we know that the blood is the part of the circulatory system, but what is the function? Blood transport. here it is most important, blood transport substances in the body. It has fluid part called plasma, and cells like red blood cells, means again it is called as RBC, and white blood cells, which is also called as WBC, and platelets. Now all my dear students, these are the parts of the this blood consists of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and again there is a fluid part, liquid part, which is called as plasma. So in the plasma all these substances are embedded, means in the plasma is one type of fluid, liquid, and in the plasma this RBC, WBC, and platelets, they are present. Now all these this you can see this red color is RBC, red blood cells are there, and this one is the white blood cell, red color is the red blood cell, and here it is inside the blood there is a plasma, which is the fluid. Here you can see this yellow color. For your better understanding, it is shown in the color. So if you see this fluid which is in yellow color, that is nothing but it is the plasma. So now this fluid is plasma, RBC, WBC, and there are the platelets. So these are the, this one is the platelet. Now see here, so these platelets, red blood cell, white blood cells, and the plasma, they are there in the blood. Now what is the function of this RBC, red blood cell? So now see here in the RBC or red blood cell, this RBC contain a pigment called hemoglobin. Now many times we heard this word hemoglobin when we go to the doctor for checkup. When we check our blood, then doctor says us that your HB is this much and that much. So that hemoglobin is a red color pigment, and because of that the blood has red color. So here RBC contain pigment called as hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin transport oxygen. So this hemoglobin in our body is most important, because when we respire, when we inhale oxygen, that oxygen get mixed into the blood with the help of hemoglobin. So hemoglobin combine with oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and then it get transport towards the all the cells, and then all the cells get the oxygen for the respiration purpose, for the breakdown of the glucose. Now white blood cell, so these WBCs are fighting against the germs. So see, this WBC fights against the germs and protect us from the diseases. So in our body these are the fighters. So this WBC fights against the germs which can cause diseases, different type of diseases. So when this WBC fight against the germs, then our body get protected because of this WBC. Now platelets. So what is the use of platelets? It's most important. So platelets helps in clotting of the blood. So blood get clot. Now many times you have experienced that when you are playing on the ground, you fall down, so you have a scratches on your knees and elbows. So at that time blood starts flowing from the wound, and then when blood starts flowing, you start crying. But when you see after some time, after few seconds or after few minutes, so the blood which was flowing from the wound gets stopped there only. Why? Because in the blood there are the platelets. So when your skin gets scratched or when you have injured, then at that time when blood starts flowing, so there the means where the you have the injury, there the blood starts clotting, because there are the platelets, and the platelets helps clotting of the blood. So when clot is get formed, or many clots are get formed near the wound, and then the blood flowing, the blood which was flowing, it get stopped there only. So there will be no more bleeding. So in this way these platelets are important in our body. They make a clot of the blood. So blood gets stopped from the flowing out of the body. Now blood vessels. Now see here, in our body there are many types of blood vessels. There are different types of blood vessels. And which are those? So they are arteries, veins and capillaries. So these three types of blood vessels are there in the body: arteries, veins and capillaries. Now first is arteries. Now, so what is the arteries? So these arteries are one type of blood vessel, but what they are carrying? They are carrying oxygen rich blood, means the blood which has more amount of oxygen. So that oxygen rich blood get carried from where to where? From heart to all the parts of the body. They have thick walls. Now see here, so this is the function of the arteries. So there is a many times the difference can be asked. What is the difference between the arteries and the veins? So vein also carry the blood, but which blood? Carbon dioxide rich blood. And arteries carry oxygen rich blood. Veins carry carbon dioxide rich blood. Now veins carry carbon dioxide rich blood means the blood in which the carbon dioxide amount is more. So such type of blood is get carried. Now from where to where? From all the parts of the body to the heart. So this is the difference. Arteries carry the blood from heart to all the parts of the body, but veins carry blood from all the parts of the body to the heart. But what is again main difference in the arteries and vein? Arteries walls are very thick, but veins walls are thin in the nature. That's why many times the question can be asked, what is the difference between the arteries and the veins? Now the next point is capillaries. So what are the capillaries? Now capillaries are also the blood vessels, but these blood vessels, these capillaries are very thin blood vessels and which joins arteries and veins. So this capillary joins, it is a joint between the arteries and the veins, and they are very thin blood vessels. Now here is the point, pulse oblique pulse rate. Now what is meant by pulse? What is the pulse rate? There is an activity in our book that we can count our pulse, we can count the pulse rate, we can count the pulse ourselves, our family members, otherwise our friends also. Now what is the pulse rate and what is the pulse? So blood flows through the arteries at high pressure, causing throbbing movement called pulse. Now see here, arteries walls are very thick, and through the arteries the blood flows with the high pressure, because in the arteries from the heart the blood is get transported to all the parts of the body. So here the flow of the blood is very high in the pressure, and when there is high pressure, so that pressure also get exerted on the wall of the arteries, and it should not break down or it should not tear. That's why these walls are the thick in the nature. There is the reason, because in the arteries blood is flowing with the high pressure. So we know that high pressure exert on this pressure of the blood get exerted on the wall of the blood vessels. So the blood vessels wall should not get any harm. That's why these walls are thick in the nature and elastic in the nature. So they can become big and small also as their blood flow. Now when the blood flows in the arteries at high pressure, it causes throbbing movement, and that throbbing movement is nothing but it is a pulse. So this is the pulse. But what is the pulse rate? The number of pulse beat per minute. In 1 minute, how many times the pulse are beating? That is nothing but it is the pulse rate. So the number of pulse beats per minute is called as pulse rate. The normal pulse rate is between 72 and 80 beats per minute. If we count our pulse rates, here in the picture it is shown how the pulse rate can be counted. So in the same way, if we count, there is activity in the book. With the help of the activity, if we start the counting our pulse rate, so the normal pulse rate is in between the 72 and 80 beats per minute. Per minute means in 1 minute. Now here you can see, this is the diagram where the blood pressure, the blood flows in the arteries with the high pressure, and when there is low pressure, so veins are also carrying the blood, but the pressure of the blood in the veins, it is low. And here it is shown here, this is the lung, this one is the heart, this is the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, and now this one is the heart, vena cava and veins, aorta and arteries, and the tissues. Now here these veins and these arteries are joined here with the help of some another blood vessel. Those are the capillaries. Again in detail we will learn in the next slide. Now what is the heart? So the heart is an organ. We know that this is a very delicate organ situated in the chest, and this heart is very delicate organ, and this heart pumps the blood to all the parts of the body. So we know that pumping of the blood takes place by the heart. So that's why we feel sometimes throbbing also. And this heart, when pumps the blood gets transported to all the parts of the body. If you see the size of the heart, it is of our fist. Heart is about the size of our fist. When we fold our fingers of the hands togetherly, we form a fist, and that fist, the size of the fist is means our heart size is the size of our fist. Now if you see, there are the four chambers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This 1, this 2, this 3 and this 4. 4 chambers are there in the heart. This upside 2 chambers are there. 2 upper chambers are called as atria or atrium, and these lower 2 chambers are called as ventricles. And the heart has a partition in middle which prevents the mixing of the blood. If you see, this is the partition. This is the partition, and this partition, this partition helps the heart to prevent the mixing of the oxygen rich blood and carbon dioxide rich blood. Now here you can see all the labelings are shown in the diagram. So in this way, the heart is the most important organ which pumps the blood to all the parts of the body, and there are the 4 members. There are the 4 chambers, and upper 2 chambers are called as atria, singular is atrium, and the lower 2 chambers are called as ventricles. So in this way the heart information is there.